Um, I guess I have three things that have bubbled up, and none of them are, I think they're just saying in different words what you both have said, which is appropriate since you both have way more experience in this than I do. But the very first one that comes up that I haven't really talked about before, but really came up when you were talking, Carmen, and then a little when you were talking, Scott, is a big important thing that people don't talk about with leadership is realizing that you actually are the leader. So this has gotten me in trouble many times because I shot up many inches when I was in fifth grade, and I became
Oh,
the tallest
physically.
in height.
Yes, in
Became
height.
the tallest girl and often the tallest person in the room. And people started looking to me for decision making, what we should do on the playground. And I was like, what's happening? Because I'm just this goofy, nerdy person. And it didn't occur to me for like decades that people see me as a leader. Like they just do biologically. And so that ended up making, at some point, I thought, oh, right, they see me as a leader. And by default, I have to do that. I mean, it's like I'm not taking my responsibility if I don't. That's the role that has been given to me. And I still get in trouble with it. I still sometimes forget that people see that. And recently, a friend, I hope she's still a friend, she got very upset with me because I asked her to offer some pro bono work to this project I was doing. And I thought it was just an ask, but she felt pressure because she sees me as a leader. And so she got mad at me when like I needed more time or I requested more time. And then I thought, oh, she felt unspoken pressure that I didn't even know I was
Right,
giving her.
right.
So it's this awareness of, holy cow, there's this responsibility to leadership, um, to acknowledge that people see you that way and you have to take responsibility for that. So that's interesting. So it's awareness of the situation. And then I think the next one is that leadership is oscillatory across time and space. So, like, um, if you're really a gifted leader, you sure have to go with the flow and recognize there are times at which you're not going to be the leader. You're not going to feel like the leader. You're going to be in a situation where you're more like a follower. And that's an oscillation, even with the same group of people, even if you're the de facto leader or you started this company or whatever, it's going to feel more like, oh, I have to follow now. Okay, now, oh, now I'm the leader. Oh, now I have to follow. It'll be like that through time, right, Carmen?
Yeah, if I may interject, I think that's actually uh not take the actually out because you always say useful things, but it points to something that's often overlooked. I see a lot of leaders get into trouble when they feel that they have to act like a leader at this particular moment. God forbid that people not perceive me as the leader at this moment.
Which in which situation they will not be perceived as the leader. So
Exactly.
if you don't
Yeah.
have the leadership capacity to be a follower at appropriate times, you're not
Right.
perceived as a leader because you're not sensing the appropriate action,
Right. Right.
right? And the same thing across not just time but space, right? So across space, there you're in a different relationship with whomever in a particular company or in a particular
Right.
organization,
Right.
and so it's oscillatory, and anything that's not oscillatory dies. And so it's what keeps the authenticity of your leadership alive. So that feels true. Yeah. And then the last thing is the thing I always say, which is that people work for love. That's what they work for. They can fool themselves and think they're working for money. They could fool themselves and think they're working to get to some particular goal, but they work for love. If you could create an environment where people feel loved and you demonstrate that you feel love for yourself and others, like boom, great.
Yeah.
Because that's going to go really well,
Right.
you know? And we forget that a lot,
Yeah.
which is why I think it's really important when you're reshaping a government or reshaping an organization. And there's a lot of things that have to change. If you can do that reshaping with love and can help people feel like, I have to dismiss many, many people. This is really hard. And there's great love for the work that you've done, but things have changed, and this is the situation. And you thank you for your service towards this mission, and go with love and find something new. Like what a different message, and what a change that could make in
Yeah.
terms of how we make change in our organizations. So anyway, these are my thoughts.
Very good. Scott, last words are yours.
The tall girl story reminded me of one of the first interactions I had with Heifetz when he came to LDA, and that
This
was
is Ron Heifetz, the
Ron. Yeah, the silverback theory of leadership, and how people just tend to naturally look to the tall person, the experienced person for leadership. There were some limitations to that, but I think there's actually some real great truth. One of the things that I've been thinking about as we talked was of principles that come out of the Center for Creative Leadership on direction, alignment, and commitment, and how leadership is really a shared process amongst the group in coming to agreement and understanding on the direction we're going, how we're going to align to do the work, and how we're going to committed are we as a group to do that. So it's not so much about a person or a position, it's about a collective working together. And I think your comments on love underscore that tremendously. That commitment isn't to the task or the goal, the commitment is to each other. And that's one of the things I valued highly at the agency, is that I got to work with people who were committed to each other and to the mission. So it was a great ride, as I said.